Hello, everyone. It is Tuesday, April 1st. I didn't get to do a video last week. It was a crazy week. But today I'm about to head into work. But I wanted to get a video in. I had a few topics that I had been thinking about that I wanted to discuss. But something happened yesterday, and I was listening to a Jay Shetty podcast this morning that he had with this doctor, and some things came up from it. So it's kind of a general thing, or I don't know if it's a general thing or not, but I guess what I mean, it touches a lot of different topics. So mainly it's because yesterday at around 12 a.m., I sent my husband a few text messages because I literally felt like I was having a mental breakdown. I felt like I was so overwhelmed. I felt my heart out of my chest. And I felt like something was wrong. Like I felt like this is not normal. I shouldn't be feeling this way. And then I started thinking back at things that were happening. And it brought me back to Saturday, which was a crazy busy day for me. I mean, I woke up at like 4:30 in the morning to get tons of things done before I took my 12-year-old daughter to her dance competition in Long Island. So it was a crazy morning. I mean, I woke up to a text message saying there was a vendor that didn't bring the delivery, and we didn't have an item or some items that he was supposed to bring. So that just triggered me as soon as I woke up, because then it's 4:30 in the morning. Do I send a message to the vendor? I already have my day planned out of all these things that I have to do. And in my mind, I'm thinking, why was this message sent at 11 o'clock at night? And this, not this specific person, but the person that relayed the message to this person didn't reach out sooner. Like 2 days passed. There were 2 full days, business days, that this could have been handled. And then you wait till the night before the day that they're closed, that this vendor is closed. So I'm like, what is happening? Like it just triggered me. On top of me knowing the list of things I had to do that day. And then the next day, that was Saturday, Sunday, I was also going to be a crazy busy early day with another list of things to do. So it was just like me trying to figure out what to do. And then like I texted the vendor at 5 a.m. He replied right away, which I was shocked. But then I learned, it was like they were out partying. So it wasn't even like they were working, but they were off, and they saw they made a mistake, and, they were working with me. But then although they were working with me, like, oh, I'll meet you there at 1 so you can pick up, the items. And I wouldn't be able to be there at 1 because I had to be in Long Island. So then I had to utilize my husband. My husband will be there. So anyway, it was just like an escalation of a lot of things. The day proceeded, and then I went to the gym. I went to work. When I went to work, there was another issue I encountered. Like, it was just like issue after issue. So, like it's just started building up. And I felt like I was handling them, but then I would get like a little pushback from one thing and from another thing. And it just, and then I would try to I'm like, okay, I'm going to take a bath and I'm going to relax. And for a few minutes, 10, 15 minutes, I know I can take a bath and relax and let me delegate certain things so I don't have to do it. And then someone else can handle that, and it will take something off my plate. So I felt like I was doing a good thing, delegating and handing things off. And it was kind of like, sliding off, or I was handling it. Then I show up to the competition, and it took longer than we expected to get there. There was tons of traffic. I wanted to be there earlier. I mean, I was still on time, but I wanted to be there earlier because I'm just extra, and I did want to see my friend's daughter, get her awards, etc. And then I flipped out on my daughter, my 12-year-old, because then she was, I don't know, she was being a kid, to be quite honest. Like, I think about it and I'm like, I want her to be an adult because she wants to do adult things, but she's a kid. Like, I have to step back and realize she's a kid. I need to treat her like a kid, but then she wants to be treated like an adult, but she doesn't do the things that adults would do. Anyway, so I literally, and I was telling her, like, before I flipped out on her, I was like, relax, I'm right here. Because she was just getting upset because I was 10 feet away, and she's like, I can't see you. I'm like, if I can see you, I can feel you and I can see you from the back of my head, because she was behind me. Like, we don't have to be hip to hip. I don't understand. Mom, I can't see. Mom, wait. Mom, wait. Like, and I'm on the phone with another mom trying to find the location because I didn't know where the place was. It was just like a lot of things. So then I just turned around and I flipped out on her. Like, honestly, I even felt like it was like an outer body experience, because I have flipped out on my kids. I'm not saying I don't, but not in a public setting like that. Like, I felt that it was too much, you know. So I did. And then she like felt it, like, oh wow, like, okay. Like, she paused, and then she's like, there she is, there's a mom, like we found the place, like, relax. But it wasn't even that I was upset at her because we didn't find the place. It was because she felt like she needed to be attached to my hip. I don't know. I honestly, it was just a lot. So I flipped out on her. Then her friends came and they were consulting her, comforting her because she was crying. And honestly, when I saw the other mom, and the other mom saw what was happening, so she was just like, calm down. And I mean, she heard everything because I was on the phone with her. And she's like, calm down, relax, you're here, you have plenty of time, etc. So that happened, and we went through that day. I mean, I didn't get home till 1 a.m. It was a long, super long day. Then Sunday, I had to wake up again at 6 a.m. and start all over again. Then I had a baby shower, whatever. Then that day, I flipped out on my 7-year-old because she's another one. And I kept thinking, I'm like, there's like a pattern here. These kids want to do adult things. And then when they do these, and when I say adult things, my 7-year-old wanted my 12-year-old to do her makeup, which she did. She did her makeup, but then she's like, the makeup is orange. I look orange. I look this. And I gave her plenty of time. I said, listen, you have 2 hours to get ready. You know, I am gonna start getting ready. Like, I'm gonna give myself an hour, which is more than enough time because I was pretty much ready. But to include her and do her hair, because that's all I had to do with her hair. But then she added she wanted to do her makeup. So anyway, my other daughter was doing her makeup, and I kept telling her, we have, 40 minutes, 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 10 minutes, like, and I was like counting down, we have this time, and then I'm like, what is going, like, she had a ton of makeup on, like, this is not necessary. Anyway, fast forward, I flipped out on her too, because then she's like, I look orange, my makeup's on. I'm like, yeah, you always look orange, like, you always do this in the morning to yourself, so I don't understand why today is a different thing. So then she's like, my neck is a different color than my face. And I said, yeah, it is. So I'm like, tell your sister to fix it. She's the one that did the makeup. Like, tell her to put orange on your neck. I don't know what you want me to do. Like, this is what you do to yourself. So I don't understand how it's different. Anyway, so I have flipped out on her also. Then, like, in the process, my brother called me with a question about work. So it was like so many things just escalating. That happened Sunday. Then we go to the event. We had an event. We come back. I had some work to do. Then I was talking to my son. I don't know. Then I flip out on my son. I don't know. For some reason. I mean, he couldn't find a shirt. He couldn't find something. I don't know. Something happened that me and my son were at it. Okay. Then Monday, which was yesterday. Today's Tuesday. Yesterday, I wake up 5 a.m. Get ready, go to the gym, take my class. I'm feeling good. I come home, take my daughter to school. My 12-year-olds come back home. Well, backtrack. I call my kids because I call them to wake them up. And then I see my son, like, they wake up, they're getting ready, and my son is taking forever to get ready to leave. And I'm like, you gotta leave. Like, you're gonna be late for school. And his personality is very leisurely, relaxed, laid back, and I'm like, you gotta get things done, like, you gotta go, you're gonna be late. And that's another thing that I'm like, you know what, I need to relax and understand that this is his personality, this is how he is, and that's okay. I'm not like that. So, and I even said to him, I said, you know what, I'm gonna start waking you up at 5 a.m. when I'm leaving, because that way you have plenty of time to get ready. Anyway, so then I'm like texting him, get up, you're late. I turned on his car and this and that. I dropped my other daughter, my 12-year-old off at school. When I get back, he's gone. So I'm like, all right. Because part of what triggered me too is as I'm taking my 12-year-olds, or as I'm arriving to pick up my 12-year-olds, as I'm arriving from the gym, I see my neighbor who goes to the high school leaving. So I'm like, he's leaving. My son is going up and down the stairs looking for a shirt or some shirts that he couldn't find. And going crazy, so I'm like, you gotta go, in my mind, the neighbor left, you're not even ready to leave, you're gonna be late, etc. Anyway, so I get back, he is gone. Then I go in to get my 7-year-old ready. So I'm getting her ready, she wants her hair done. Okay, I get her up with enough time to do her hair, this and that. Then she wants to put some pants on, but she can't tie the button. So then I'm like, you're wearing these pants that then you're not going to be able to unbutton in school. I'll ask the teacher for help and this and that. And I'm like, why are you complicating your life? Like, just don't wear those pants. Anyway, she wears the pants. She does what she wants to do. Fine. Okay. She's getting ready. She gets on the bus. She goes, okay. She leaves for school. I had a meeting in Hackensack with this woman that we buy merchandise together. Okay, so I have a meeting. We go to the meeting. I know she's usually late, so I texted her. I said, hey, I have a few other meetings today and appointments, so are you going to be on time? Is it going to be at 9 o'clock? Or tell me a time so I can plan around it. Okay. And she was keeping me posted. No, I'm getting dressed. No, I'm leaving at this time. Or I was like, okay. So then I get there, and I knew I was there earlier, so I said, okay, I'm here. Once you're here, come to the back, open the door in the back. Okay. So a few minutes, I wait for her. She gets there, fine. We go in, we start discussing what we need to purchase, etc. Then she goes off on something else. She's talking about something else. And I'm like, okay. And I would always bring her back. Okay, let's focus on what we're here for. Let's focus on what we're doing. So that happens. Then I get a call from work that the fire marshal, inspector is here. You didn't get the report, blah, blah, blah. So then it's that. And then she's yelling at me and this and that. And I was like, well, I saw the report was sent. I saw my brother sent the report. I don't know. He even went to pay last week and they took the payment. So I don't have nothing to do with the payment, blah, blah, blah. Whatever. She's flipping out. She's upset. That's it. You guys are going to get a fine. I'm going to write you up. Okay. All right. So I'm texting my brother as I'm on the phone. The other one's over there going on, I don't know what. And I'm texting my brother, then I hang up with them at work. Then my brother calls me back. He's explaining to me, yeah, I did it. I sent it. I have it. Okay. And as all this is happening, it's not even 11 o'clock in the morning yet. It's 10 a.m. And I'm thinking I went to the gym, I worked out, I felt good. And then everything just started escalating again. Then my 12-year-old just texted me, can you bring me lunch? I had already planned that I was going to drop lunch off for my 7-year-old. Okay. I finished my meeting with this woman. I had finished talking to my brother. I leave. As I leave, my brother calls me, I guess, to tell me what had happened, because he did reach out to the town about the inspector, etc. So kind of to calm me down. And then he was even you need to relax. And I even told him, I'm honestly, I don't know. I feel like I'm going crazy. So anyway, as I'm driving and I'm leaving, and I had to go to the bank, I had to go get the food to drop off to my 2 daughters, etc. Then my friend was like, oh, I can do your hair at this, at 1 o'clock. So I'm trying to fit it all in. Long story short, as everything is happening and I'm analyzing everything that I have to do, I text my husband. I said, hey, I really think something is wrong with me. It's 11:12 a.m. or 11 whatever minutes it was, and I feel like I'm having a mental breakdown. I really feel like something, I think I need to be on medication. Maybe I need to get medicated. I don't know. I don't think this is normal. I shouldn't be flipping out at any little thing, even though when I think back, I'm I think it was an accumulation of everything. Or when people say that was their breaking point, everything just added up. And it kind of reminded me of my grandma's passing, when my grandmother passed away, that it was so significant. It was such a big loss for our family. And I felt I had to take over. Okay, Like, someone's got to take over, because all of her kids were falling apart. I mean, none of them were in any condition to handle what was happening. Mind you, my mom was going with me to everything, to like, the hospital, the funeral home, the cemetery. Like, she was physically there, but it wasn't like she was participating. Like, she would just be like, yeah, sure, whatever you want, that one. Like, she wasn't there. I don't know how to explain it. Like, she just wasn't there. Like, I felt like I had to be like, yes, this is it. Here's a deposit. Here, let me sign. What do you need? Like, I felt like I was in survivor mode, and I had to like put away my emotions because everyone else had to feel, and I couldn't feel because I had to handle the situation. So I kind of felt like this is what was happening building up to Monday. And then I think back, and like, a lot of things have happened. Like, my father-in-law had open heart surgery. My daughter had a surgery. Her tonsils and her adenoids were removed. My dad has been in and out of the hospital several times. His health is not so great. My mom's health is not so great. So I feel like, it's like a lot of things were accumulating. My grandmother's saying like she was sick for 20 days. She was in the hospital. So it was things that were building up too, but we kind of knew what was coming. So we were preparing for it. You can never prepare for someone to pass away, but we were preparing for it, or I was, I guess I could say. And I feel like from January till now, I've had a lot of things also just build up. And I mean, today's April 1st. Yesterday was March 31st. And I just feel like everything just fell on me, or everything just was building up, and it just hit me. Like, I remember for my grandma's, my husband told me, he was like, have you cried? Like, have you mourned like your grandma's loss? And I was like, I can't, like, I have to keep going. Like, and I would, like, I would be in the bathtub and I would start crying, or I'd be in the shower and I would start crying, or I'd be in the car and I would flip out, like, by myself. I was doing it when I was alone, not when I was with people, and when I could like just let it rip. And then someone would come along and I'd have to like compose myself, because then my kids were also suffering. So then I'm like, how do I show that I'm breaking down? And then, my kids are breaking down. Like, I have to support them. My mom was a disaster. Like, I felt like I was going to lose her in the process. So I was like, I have to be strong for her. So it was a lot. Then my dad was going through his Alzheimer's too. So then he was another one that I had to kind of like protect my mom from, because then he was triggering her. It was a lot. Anyway, so I just sent my husband that text, because I was like, I think something's wrong. Like, this is not normal. And then one of my cousins that's here visiting, my aunt that had surgery recently, she's taking care of her. She texted me, hey, how are you feeling? And I was like, interesting, you asked me that. And I sent her the text I sent my husband. And then she was like, yeah, it's a lot. Like, this is normal. You're not crazy. Like, this makes sense. A lot of people go through this. And she was like, maybe you need to talk to like your doctor or something. Maybe you do. Like, it's normal. Some people do have to get on medication. So I reached out to my friend who's a doctor, and I was like, hey, and I sent her the message I sent to my husband. I even said to my cousin, I said, you know what? I am in perimenopause, and I've been reading a lot about it. And I see that, like, I think the symptoms I have could be related to my hormonal changes and my ups and downs, etc. So she was like, yeah, I agree. And then when I sent it to my friend who's a doctor, she was like, yep, you're not crazy. This is normal. And, so little by little, I started thinking, and I even said, I'm like, you know what, maybe it's not medication. Like, what natural things can I do? And I feel like I do. Like, I work out, I exercise, I take a lot of supplements, I eat well, or I try to eat as well as I can. One thing I know that was helping me a lot was yoga, which I'm not doing as much anymore. As I was like, oh, maybe, the yoga, I have to incorporate again. So point of this video is, I literally I felt like I was having a breakdown, and I was. I mean, a lot of things were going on in my head and my body and me. And this is going to sound weird. I was happy in a way that I was able to identify this. Like, I was able to like stop and be like, it's 11, 12 in the morning and I'm feeling this way, and this is not okay. Like, this is not okay. And not only did I recognize it, but I shared it. Like, I shared it with my husband, and he didn't even reply back. I don't know if he didn't reply back because he was like, oh my God, she's gonna flip out on me, or here we go, like, it's coming. Or he just didn't know what to say. I don't know. But I reached out to him. I told my cousin, I told my doctor. Like, I felt like, you know what? I need to talk about it. And the first thing that came to my mind is, I need to do a video about this. Like, I need to tell people this is okay. This is normal. Like, it happens. And I even wrote like a list, like, I need to talk to my kids because I know I flipped out on them, and I need to explain to them why. Like, guys, this is why this happened. Like, this is why something small triggered me. It wasn't just that, it was an accumulation of things, just so they know. Because I feel like I didn't have those coping mechanisms. I wasn't taught them. I was taught, like, that's it. I flip out on you and that's it. You take it and you walk away, and then when I cool off, we're good again. Like, that's how my relationship was with my mom. She would flip out on me, would go to my room, then she'll call me a sweet name, and I'll come back and I'll be like, okay, she's okay with me now. But that's not okay. Like, it's not okay that I felt hurt and attacked and I didn't know why, so I'm doing the same thing to my kids and they don't know why, but I didn't even know why. And now I'm realizing, okay, this is why. And I feel like I need to tell them, I need to talk to them about it and explain it. And, we're all human, we're all normal. And I see my kids do it. They flip out and I'm like, whoa, relax. Like, where did that come from? And then we have conversations about that. And sometimes they understand and they can relate, or they can see or recognize why it happened. So I just felt, I was going crazy yesterday, but I felt happiness. I felt some comfort in the fact that I was okay with asking for help and for talking about it. In the past, I'd want to hide it and be like, no, I'm okay. Like, I'm perfect. Like, I don't make mistakes. And no, I make mistakes. I make a ton of mistakes. I made a ton of mistakes recently, especially with my kids and with myself. And who knows with who else I made those mistakes with, but I'm not perfect. None of us are perfect. We're all going through something, and it's okay. We just have to look at the bright side of it. My bright side is I recognize it, I saw it, and I spoke up. And I think it helped me, because I think if I would have held it in, like, I would have had some type of ailment, a pain here, a pain there, who knows, or create. Sometimes I think, like, this is how people create, illnesses, like cancer or stress or a pain and in a certain part of your body, or whatever, an ailment, because you're holding all this in, you're not letting it out. So let's try to normalize having a mental breakdown. It's okay. Or flipping out. It's not normalize it like it's okay. You're going to do it in nitty gritty all the time to everyone, but that you can feel some comfort in knowing that is normal. It's okay. You're acknowledging it. You're asking for help. You're reaching out, and you're honest with yourself that you realize this is not okay. This is not normal. And I'm going to find a way to fix it. I'm going to find a way to be better. And just that alone, I think, helped me. And it even helped me slow down. Like, okay, let me stop. Let me think. In a way, I was like, let me be like my son for a minute and just slow down, go at a slower pace, and it's going to be okay. So I hope a lot of you don't have to go through this to feel what I'm feeling, in terms of knowing this is normal and it's okay, and feel some growth, because I do feel like I'm growing. Like, this is making me stronger, and it's helping me move forward and learn how to cope with it. But mostly, I think it's gonna help my kids hear it from me and understand, like, it's not my fault. Mom flipped out, not because of the little thing that I did or said to trigger her. But I also do want them to understand what triggers me, about them and the way they are, because I do explain it to them, like, you want to be an adult and then you don't want to do the adult things, you want to be treated like an adult, so do adult things, be an adult. But anyway, that's why I said it's a topic that has to do with many things, but the main thing is recognition of what is affecting us, and asking for help and admitting there's a problem and being okay with it and feeling happy that you're okay to talk about it and let it out, and you understand it's normal. It's not that it's a good thing, but it's normal. You're normal. I'm normal. I'm not crazy. Because at one point I'm like, am I crazy? And I realized these feelings, these emotions are not normal, and I shouldn't be acting this way. So let's figure out how to resolve it. So, and it's funny because then I kept getting signs. Like, a friend of mine sent me a message about perimenopause. And I was like, this is me. This doctor just described me. Then I got a message from Jay Shetty. I was listening to Jay Shetty's podcast, and then like a commercial came on, and I'm like, are you feeling stressed, overwhelmed, anxiety? And I'm like, are you reading my text that I just sent my husband? Like, what happened? And, he said, well, maybe you need to meditate. I know you don't have time to meditate, but, mindfulness. And now you can do 7 minutes of meditation with me. And I was like, yeah, I need to continue, because I do some form of meditation. It's not long, it's not hours, it's minutes, but I do it. But I was like, you know what? It's all over. It's not only me. Like, I felt like, well, these are signs showing me that this happens. It's real. So let's talk. Let's let it out. Let's understand it, and let's accept it. Because a lot of times it's acceptance and ownership of our faults or our issues or our anxiety, our stress, our life. So let's talk, let it out, and keep moving and finding solutions and helping others to see that it's okay. Like, we're going to be okay. We're going to survive this. So let's make it a good one. Let's make it a good week. I went very over. I apologize about that, but I was hoping to stay under 30 minutes, which I am. I'm a little over 27 minutes now. But let's make it a good one. Let's make it a productive one. And hopefully, maybe I'll get another one in this week. If not, I'll talk to you guys next week. Okay? Take care, and let's make it a productive week. Bye.